If someone truly doesn't want something emotionally from you, no amount of begging, chasing, pleading, convincing, or promising them that you'll change is going to change their mind in that moment. And that's exactly why most men fail at trying to save their marriage, because they can't accept how their wife actually feels. Instead, they spend all their time and all their energy on trying to change the way she feels. They convince themselves that there's some magic combination of words they haven't said yet, some grand gesture they haven't made yet, some explanation that he can give that's suddenly going to change her mind and make her realize that staying in the marriage is the best decision. But guys, by the time the words separation or divorce actually leave her mouth, she's been emotionally suffering for quite some time. And what I've noticed is most men are missing the signs that are happening prior to the time that she actually says the words that she wants to separate or divorce. And to be fair to you guys, there is a reason that you're missing the signs. Because the thing is about women is most women will continue to show up and act like everything's fine, even if she's emotionally suffering and emotionally feeling drained on the inside. She'll still be intimate with you. She'll still take care of her household responsibilities. She'll still take equal share of taking care of the family. She'll even, in a lot of cases, still be emotionally regulating you and making sure that you're okay. So that's why from the outside, everything appears to be normal. It even can feel normal to you. But from her perspective, internally, she's becoming more disconnected, more frustrated, more lonely, more emotionally exhausted. So that's why when she finally verbalizes that she's done, it seems very sudden to you. It feels like it came out of nowhere. And because it feels sudden to you guys, most men think that they can just start making some changes and in a few weeks she's going to change her mind. But that's not how emotional disconnection works. And if you don't understand the why behind the emotional disconnection, you'll likely keep repeating the same behaviors and be stuck in the same patterns that pushed her away to begin with. Because most men are responding the exact same way when they hear the words, I want to separate or I want a divorce. They immediately go into negotiation mode. They're willing to go to marriage counseling. They want more date nights. They're starting to read books. They're on YouTube watching every video they can find. They start helping more around the house. They try to be more affectionate with her. They try to be more attentive. And don't get me wrong, none of those things are bad. But the problem is you're trying to negotiate with a feeling. So think about your own life for a moment, shall you? Have you ever had a manager that you just can't stand? Or maybe a friendship that slowly drifted apart? Or have you ever completely lost interest in something that you once loved? Think back and really ask yourself, what could someone have possibly said in those moments to have made you change your mind? Probably nothing. Because feelings rarely change through persuasion. They change through experience. And this is where men are putting the nail in their own marriage coffin. They become obsessed with trying to figure out what they did wrong. Maybe they worked too much. Maybe they weren't really listening to her. Maybe they weren't affectionate enough. Maybe they were too negative. Maybe they complained all the time. Maybe they held on to past resentments. Maybe they weren't emotionally available. And of course, understanding your behaviors is really important. But understanding behaviors is not the same thing as understanding feelings and understanding the emotional experience that she was having. And because of that, what I noticed is men are really good at identifying the behavior, identifying the situation. And then because they're really good at making that identification, they think they found the solution to saving the marriage. So they start thinking that they need to just fix the behavior. But the reason that just fixing the behavior is not working in trying to repair the relationship is because identifying the behavior is not the root cause of why she wants to end the relationship. It's just a branch that's stemming from the root cause. So for an example, let's say a man realizes that he works too much. Okay, that's useful information. But what did she actually feel because of that? Did she feel lonely? Did she feel unimportant? Did she feel taken for granted? Did she feel she wasn't a priority? The behavior, the situation is the branch. The feeling is the root. And most men are spending so much time analyzing the branch that they never get to the root cause. And that's why they're failing at trying to save their marriage. And then they become frustrated because not only do they identify the behavior, but then they start making all these changes and they don't understand why she's not responding the way they expect her to. They're thinking, well, I figured out the problem, so why isn't she responding? Why isn't she softening? Why isn't she changing her mind about me? But from her perspective, she's thinking a total different question. She's thinking, why now? Imagine you've asked somebody the same thing over and over again for years, and nothing changes. Eventually, you'd probably stop asking. And then one day, they suddenly start doing the one thing that you've been asking for that entire time. Part of you would probably feel hopeful, but the other part of you would likely feel skeptical. And not because you want them to fail, and not because you don't appreciate the effort, but because you've been disappointed for so long. And that skepticism is where men are really misunderstanding the entire situation. She's not questioning your ability to change. She's questioning whether those changes are real and if they're going to last. And here's the other thing too, guys, is she's not looking at the last 2 weeks or the last 2 months. She's evaluating the last 2 years. And that's the reason why these quick changes don't rebuild trust. Trust is built through consistency, not intensity. And this brings me to what I believe to be the biggest reason why men are failing at trying to save their marriages. It's because they're asking the wrong questions. They're asking, how do I get her to change her mind? How do I convince her to stay? How do I get her to see things differently? All of those questions are focused on changing her and trying to get a result out of her. A better question to start asking yourselves is, do I really understand her? Do I understand how she feels? Because if the answer is no, that's where the work begins. Not with convincing, not with negotiating, and not with defending. With understanding. Most men spend so much time trying to change their wife's feelings that they don't truly actually understand them. And if you can't truly understand them, how are you going to make choices going forward to make her feel like you understand them? You won't be able to. Because until you actually understand them, all you're going to be doing is treating the symptoms, cutting off those branches, rather than getting to the actual root cause of the problem. So if your wife is talking about separation or divorce right now, stop asking yourself what changes you can make and what actions you can do to get her to change her mind. Instead, start to be curious. Go within yourself and ask yourself, what have I been missing? What emotions has she been trying to communicate that I haven't truly been understanding? Because that's how you rebuild trust. And that's the only pathway to trying to save a failing marriage. Her feeling like you truly understand her. So if you're struggling with really understanding the root cause of the problem right now, and you really want to understand her, but you're realizing that you kind of more so are leaning towards understanding the branches and the situations and the behaviors, and not actually what she's feeling inside, apply to work with me. I'll put the link in the description of the video and in the comments. I really hope this video was helpful, guys. If so, hit it a like for me and definitely subscribe to the channel for more videos on helping you save your marriage. And as always, guys, stay happy, stay healthy, and let's really focus on falling back in love.